Envisioning the future of learning. So very nice picture, but the reason why I choose this picture, you see the picture of the girl looking up. Yeah, so it's like looking at to the future. What would the future brings as far as learning is concerned? So I would like to start with this quotation, very powerful quotation. Maybe you have seen this from the late Nelson Mandela. He said, "Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world." But maybe we want to ask what kind of education that we can deliver, what kind of education that we want to create for our country. I think this is something that people or the government, Ministry of Education around the world is actually very concerned about. We want to raise world-class students. We want to create a world-class education so that we can produce the first or world-class student or world-class graduate. But the question is, how do we define world-class? And some people say, whose world? By what definition, by what standard? So this is something that maybe we can ponder upon. But when we talk about the future of learning, so maybe we need to look at what are the driving force that pushing for these changes in higher education, especially because we are in the context of higher education. So of course, the first one is globalization. Yeah, the globalization, the technology. So a lot of discussion today is actually talk about technology. Massification of education. This is what now we call a massive open online course to scale up education so that the knowledge is not only confined within the physical boundary of the classroom, but now we can go out beyond the classroom to reach out the global learners. So this is what massification of education is about. And of course the market demand. What is the value of the graduate that we produce from the university if they cannot find a job? So we talk about the employability rate and so on. We have the tracer study to see how many of our graduates get a job within 6 months and so on. So we cannot just push aside or just ignore the issue on the market demand. And of course, in the context of knowledge economy and knowledge society. And this is the reality that we cannot simply deny. Because technology and the internet is becoming, very global. The whole world is wired. Everyone is well connected, mostly, of course in certain part of the world, maybe not so. But the technology is there. The bottom line is technology is actually expanding. So how do we leverage this in terms of transforming our teaching and empowering learning? That's the theme of this today's event. Then Stephen Happel in 2011, that was a few years ago, he said, more change will happen in education in the next 10 years than in the past 100 years. Things are changing exponentially, not linearly. So if you are moving still on the same tangent, linearly, but things are changing exponentially, then you will see, sooner or later, or very soon, you will be left behind. I still remember very clearly this John Landau, his words 2-3 years ago in Las Vegas. He said, educators in the 21st century are at risk of becoming irrelevant. I was, wow, why? Because now the whole world is a global classroom. We don't have to step into the classroom physically because we can just tap the knowledge. Knowledge is at the fingertips, just a touch away or just a click away. So, ladies and gentlemen, today we talk about envisioning the future of learning because the world is changing. The only constant is change. And the world is changing faster than ever, and our skill sets have a shorter life. What is relevant today may be not relevant tomorrow, or maybe not relevant next year. So Sir Ken Robinson, I think most of us here should know Sir Ken Robinson. He said, for the first time we are preparing students for a future we cannot clearly describe. How do we prepare students, or how do we devise our education system? How do we devise our curriculum for something that we cannot really see. Or maybe we can see, but vaguely, not very clear. So this is a challenge for us. And I think we are still grappling with that. If you have read this book by Professor Clay Christensen, Harvard University professor, he's actually an expert on disruptive innovation. And he wrote a book also on disruptive classroom and so on. He said, we invest and we subsidize students' education in a field which there are no jobs. Because the jobs have not yet been created. We do not know. So we cannot design our curriculum to prepare our graduate for a specific skill or for a specific job, because we do not know what kind of jobs will be in demand tomorrow in the future. So the future job and skill requirement. Okay? There is no specific name of the job, but the specific skill that we need to develop, we need to inculcate in our graduate. Therefore, our curriculum should be designed to develop and inculcate. What is it? Solving problems, complex problems, need to continuously update knowledge and technical skill. This in terms of the professional development. Multi, interdisciplinary, transdisciplinary. Increasing relevance of social or soft and intercultural skill, self-management, regulation, time management, responsibility, accountability. So these are some of the range of, or the type of job and skill requirement in the future. So maybe we need now to, just ponder for a while, whether we are preparing our students to fit this kind of criteria or skills. This slide I borrow from Judd Leonard. You can see down there. So it's not mine. He said transformation. We need transformation. So the theme of this event today. Transform, not change, not incremental change. Incremental change is probably linear, but we need exponential change. So being able to transform as needed. We should be very flexible. We should be able to challenge ourselves to step out from our comfort zone. Majority of our university population maybe are in the comfort zone. And it's quite difficult and it's very challenging to take them out from the comfort zone. Why should they? Paradigm shift on an unprecedented scale. Exponential again. Cannot be incremental. So this is my proposal, my suggestion. We need to look at learning that is transformative in nature. Then only we have this exponential change. Actually now we are part of the learning revolution happening around us with new learning paradigms and technologies emerging on a daily basis. I don't think we can cope with the development of technology. It's very, very fast. Just a blink of eyes, new technology come out. New devices and so on and so on. So if you want to buy a computer, just buy. There's no right time. There's no time that is right time to buy a computer. Just buy, because technology will change. So now back to, to me, we can talk about technology. One whole day I can talk about technology because I'm a strong proponent of technology. So there's no doubt about it. But then I think we have to go back to the basic. That's the pedagogy part. But all along, I know we have to integrate pedagogy and technology. So back to the basic. We have to be able to understand this learning theory. So that's the idea. So now, we have the challenges now. From remember, understand, apply to the create. From the lower level thinking and higher level thinking. And it is very relevant. Very relevant because now the ministry in the Malaysia Education Blueprint, higher education as well as the school one, talk about KEBAT. Kemahiran berfikir aras tinggi, which is a high order thinking. Now, so envisioning the future of learning, if I cannot finish all the slides today, this is the one that probably the take home message. To me, Dato', We need a new framework, a new paradigm, a new mindset. Again, this sound, maybe you will say that is rhetoric, this bombastic, but that is what we need to do. We need to unpack the curriculum. When we talk about curriculum, then probably it will remind you about MQA. No. MQA is MQA, but unpack the curriculum now is, we want to look at the curriculum and we want to see what kind of skills, what kind of values, what kind of knowledge that we want to impart, and we want to see now whether it is embedded in the curriculum and whether we can do the delivery to achieve all those that we have, what that we want to achieve. Explore the transformative pedagogy, explore innovative delivery methods. So you will see in my presentation, I would not say much about technology actually today, but the technology is actually implied or embedded there. When we talk about innovative delivery methods, this is where the technology now can add value. Then we can use diverse methods to assist in our delivery.